Yeah.
Ready? All right. You ready, guys?
Sure. When it gets hot, back to the curls.
All right, here we go.
Oh, trust me, hello. You see my updo today.
You ready? Okay. In accordance with the open public meeting, adequate notification of this meeting has been provided by advertising in the record and posting notice in the Board of Education Administration Building and filing notice with the city clerk. I hereby call to order the regular public meeting on January 23rd, 2013 in the Hackensack High School Media Center at 6:18. Will you do a roll call, please? Say it again. I was just gonna make sure we did our quorum.
You have to have our roll call. Okay. Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Present.
Mr. Coleman,
Present.
Ms. Cordora Oughton,
Present.
Mr. James Vickery,
Present.
Ms. Maury,
Present.
Mr. Oates,
Present.
Mr. Powell is absent. Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Somerville.
All right, let's
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a quorum.
stand for the pledge. What?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's remain standing for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. You may be seated. Be it resolved that the Hackensack Board of Education determines it necessary to meet in executive session January 23rd, 2023 to discuss legal, personnel, student-related matters, HIB reports, negotiations, and other confidential matters. Be it further resolved that these matters will be made public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Can I have a motion?
A motion.
Thank you. A second? All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Thank you. All those opposed? And there are none. If you need to get your picture made, would you stop by on the way? You get that done quickly. Picture made? Picture taken, picture made, picture taken. Okay. Evening, are we ready?
Yes.
All right, good evening, everyone. All right, let's try that again. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Good to see you. If we could do a roll call, Miss Singh.
Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Present.
Mr. Coleman,
Present.
Ms. Cordero Oughton,
Present.
Mr. James Vickery,
Present.
Ms. Maury,
Present.
Mr. Oates,
Present.
Mr. Powell,
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Ms. Somerville,
Present.
we have a quorum.
Awesome, thank you. So now we will start with our presentation from Ms. Andrea Oates Parchment, and it's our Start Strong 22 assessment data presentation. And then afterwards, we'll need you to get your picture made if you haven't yet. Thank you. Okay, good. Thank you.
Picture taken. Picture taken.
The other one, please. Thank you. Good evening. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Okay. So first, for this report, I want to remind everyone of why Start Strong has been given over the last 2 years. So on March 13th, 2020, we pivoted to remote instruction, and we remained that way until the end of 2019-2020, and during the 2020-21 school year. In 2021-2022, we finally made our way back to in-person instruction. By January 2022, using a hybrid model from September 2021 to December 2022. And during this time, we know the impact on student learning was affected by illness of students, illness of teachers, illness of staff, parents, family, people in our community, some of whom experienced the loss of life. The structures in our homes to make sure that each child learned in the best environment that could be provided based on every family's circumstance. But with the passion of our teachers that they exude for serving students with targeted instruction that entails whole group lessons, smaller group instructions from kindergarten to 12, with formative assessments to guide our teaching, by empowering students to show what they know with confidence, because we have the brightest and best students who possess outstanding potential in Hackensack. With teachers working in learning communities to learn with each other, with building administrative support and central office support, we will see a difference. But the only way to move forward is with hope and belief that every student deserves all of us to continue rolling up our sleeves and engaging in the work that is required, because we love our students and we love our community. Is it difficult, the work we have before us? Yes, but we're committed to serve our students with all we have. And I just wanted to say that and remind you of this as I present this report. So now on to our Start Strong summary results. So the Start Strong assessment was given to students in grades 4 through 10, except for science. This assessment is not used to evaluate districts or teachers. The purpose is to provide teachers and building leaders with specific information about how to support our students based on possible learning loss in math, English, language arts, and science. It gives rapid feedback to teachers. We don't have to wait for a report. It's in the system about how students responded to each test item. So this report has 3 sections. There's a district analysis, there's a school analysis, and a demographic analysis. So this slide provides an overview of the number of students that may need strong support, some support, or less support in their current grade level. The test was based on last year's grade level expectations, and this is for English language arts. And for example, this year's 4th graders test covered 3rd grade reading standards. So the chart on the next page depicts the data in graph form, and I think that'll be better for all of us. So I will use the graph form going forward for this section of the report. So as you can see in the red, for English language arts, it shows how students performed and the number of students that need some support, strong support, some support, and less support. So you can see in the red, for example, grade 4, strong support. In the gold, some support, and in the green, less support. And you can see it across all the way up until 10th grade. And then it gives you a picture of all the grades combined. The next slide, this slide will show the same number of students who need strong support, some support, or less support in math. And as I was stated before, students were tested on the previous year's standards. These are the science results. However, only the 6th graders, the 9th graders, and the 12th graders took strong support. Took the Start Strong assessment. The 6th graders received test items that covered grades 3 to 5. The 9th graders received test items that covered grades 6 through 8. And the 12th graders received test items that covered grades 9 through 11. The next section is a school analysis. This is what we are required to do. We are required to show a comparison of our schools. So this slide depicts the number of 4th graders by school who took the ELA test, and once again, the number of students who need strong support, some support, or less support. This slide is a school comparison view. So you'll see our elementary schools. I'm going to flip through. I just shared this data with you, so we're going to keep going. We do not have any schools to compare because we only have 1 middle school and 1 high school. Okay, the following slide depicts the same information in each grade for math, and it compares the 4 schools. And now I will bypass these slides for Hackensack High School and Hackensack Middle School because we only have one middle school and one high school. So we don't have any schools to compare it to, and I just shared all this information with you previously. And the same with science. And this is the same information. Once again, I'm going to bypass these slides because I showed each school when we compared the schools. So now on to the demographic analysis. So this slide depicts by race all of the students who were tested in reading grades 4 through 10. It shows by bar graph the percent in each subgroup that need strong support, some support, or less support. And I will just tell you the total number. So we have 92 Asian, 536 Black or African American, 1,602 Hispanic, 51 multiple races, and 128 white. And this is for English language arts. The same information for math. It shows the number by race. We need strong support, some support, less support. We have 99 Asian, 601 Black or African American, 1,932 Hispanic or Latino, 54 multiple races, and 150 white. And this slide depicts the same for all students in grades 6, 9, and 12 only. We have 47 Asian, 240 Black or African American, 702 Hispanic or Latino, 16 multiple, and 98 white. The next few slides, I will depict gender and how we performed, how students performed. Okay, female versus male in English language arts. And this is in reading. Look at the math. It's just about the same for male and female. And science by gender. The next slides I will show you will be based on our programs, subgroups, and programs. So for reading, English language arts, section 504 students, we have 74. ELL students, 277, special ed, 484, and general ed, 1,715. And for math, we have 92 for section 504, 412 students for ELL, and 523 students for special ed. You can see how each of them performed, or what the data is telling you about who needs strong support, some support, or less support, and general ed. And now for science. Again, by program. Section 504, you can see the results: ELL, special ed, and general ed. And that concludes my report. The next thing that I just want to share with you are district interventions. You notice that each time I deliver this presentation, we always want to talk about our response to the data. What are we going to do? I'm not going to go over all of the interventions because it is online. We are going to use the same interventions that we use for NJSLA, except I also wanted to note district-wide intervention, formative classroom assessment data. This allows teachers to monitor students' learning day by day and minute by minute. This is like the crux of what teachers do in the classroom. Research supports these actions in every subject area. Teachers use this to adjust their teaching, to give specific feedback on student work they observe during instruction, and to provide targeted instruction to students. This in itself, when it's done well, we are going to see a lot of progress. And it's not easy to do in the classrooms, and I really want to commend our teachers for all that they do. But we're going to make it, and we will see a difference if we believe, and I know we all believe in what our students can do and what our teachers can do and what our parents can do to assist us. So the future looks bright for Hackensack. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll hear from our student report.
Sir. Good evening to everyone, of course, in the Board of Education, and of course, everyone in attendance today. So I have 5 major topics that I'm here to report for this month, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP's Bergen County branch, recently recognized Centenary University and recent HHS student Jaden Hall at the organization's annual Freedom Fund luncheon in Paramus. Hall, a graduate of Hackensack High School, was recommended for the honor by Lucinda McConaughey, his high school guidance counselor. He served as the Future Business Leader of America's president during his final year of high school. The honorable student also participated in the debate team, Model UN, robotics team, and community service club. Hall offered to participate in research on racial relations at the school that was done by his guidance counselor during his senior year. On how he felt when he had learned about receiving the reward, he said, "I was really surprised. Only 3 students were honored, and I was the only one from Bergen County. Having that recognition is really rare for me. It definitely gave my mom and my grandma bragging rights." So this is amazing news, obviously, to see our students gain recognition. In other news, juniors Samuel Yoon, who plays the euphonium, Carlos Menchala, and Marciela Uceda Luis, who both play the tuba, they were selected to participate in the All Bergen County Band. So the band selects students from all over the county, and this is quite an honor for our excellent players. In robotics, our team recently finished 8th out of 24 teams and now ranks 11th out of 40 plus teams in our league, which is one of the most populated leagues in the entire world. Our team is developing their programming and building skills to be consistent and effective. We are very proud of our new design, which includes a Viper slide pulley system to score elements above the ground. The students use a Logitech camera to read a randomized QR code to route the robot autonomously during the first 30 seconds during the match, and we are having a reputation of consistency when it comes to scoring. Next, in the recent Martin Luther King Day of Service, our drop-in center facilitated a day of service in remembrance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The students adopted several classrooms for Jackson Avenue Elementary School, where they created cards, welcome and encouraging messages for students, and had short discussions. Lastly, 6 students from HHS had their artwork displayed at the Art Center of Northern New Jersey Gelman Gallery on Thursday, January 19th. The students who were honored were, you guys gotta bear with me here, Yasmin Saleh, Samira Kamrakulova, Julia Prespowski, Anira Delgado, Josh Cordova Casillo, and Kamora Givens, who also won honorable mention. With all of that being said, thank you guys so much for your attention, and thank you guys for the great month at Hackensack High School. I'll see you guys next month. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to our superintendent's report.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ash, for your student report, and Ms. Parchman, of course, for that informative presentation. Good evening, all. I hope you and your loved ones are all healthy and safe. As you know, schools were closed last Monday in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Dr. King's leadership on civil rights, nonviolent protests, and social justice have laid the foundation for much of our ongoing work with equity and social justice. In keeping with that theme, I would like to acknowledge and recognize our very own high school educator, Cassine Gaines, for being awarded the 2023 Dr. Judith Owen Spirit Award at the New Jersey Education Association's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Human and Civil Rights Celebration held on Saturday, January 14th. Dr. Judith N. Owen Spirit Award honors an NJEA member who has made a major contribution to education and the realization of equal opportunity for those who are subjected to racial prejudice. We thank Mr. Gaines for his service and contributions to our school community. Congratulations. In a few short days, Black History Month will be upon us. Each February, Black History Month serves as both a celebration and a powerful reminder that Black history is American history. Black culture is American culture, and Black stories are essential to the ongoing story of America. At our schools, we'll be honoring the triumphs and struggles of African Americans throughout U.S. history in a number of varying educational and fun activities. Of course, we believe that Black history should be taught all year long, not just during a particular month. At next month's board meeting, we plan on highlighting some of the school's activities. I hope you can make it. At the end of December, Hackensack High School held its annual Instant Decision Day. At this event, numerous colleges and universities provide immediate admission decisions to prospective students following a review of their required documents and on-the-spot interviews. I'm very pleased to announce that as of the end of December, 148 offers of admission were granted and over $1 million in merit scholarships were awarded, which comes out to a whopping $4 million of scholarships over a 4-year period. Our comments continue to make us proud. It goes to show that state assessments offer a very narrow view of our district's performance. Our students come from diverse backgrounds. Many of our students' first language is not English, and many of them are economically disadvantaged. Yet they continue to succeed in life, which in my opinion, no state assessment can measure. Every year, our scholars are accepted into Ivy League colleges and many of the most prestigious universities throughout the nation. According to a 2019 report from the National Association for College Admission Counseling, the top factors for admission are overall high school GPA, grades in advanced placement or other college prep classes, and the difficulty of the student's curriculum. Performance on state assessments was not on that list. With that said, I know that our performance on state assessment needs to be better, and I acknowledge that we have a lot of work to do in this realm. To that end, the district has hired instructional coaches to assist our teachers with instructional practice. and hired a consultant to help us conduct instructional rounds at the schools to help us identify problems of practice. We remain focused on the task at hand and will continue to do the best we can for our scholars because they all deserve it. Moving on, the needs of the bilingual, ESL, and World Language Department have been commented on at recent board meetings by members of the public. I am excited to announce that the Board of Education is voting to approve our new Director of Bilingual, ESL, and World Languages on tonight's agenda. Our new director is well-equipped and highly qualified to address any and all challenges presented. Please allow me a moment to introduce our very own Marcela Moncloa, who has been chosen to lead our district in this endeavor. Ms. Moncloa, would you please come up?
Thank you. This is exciting and terrifying at the same time. Thank you for the trust. I pledge to work tirelessly as an advocate for multilingual learners, our world language students, two topics that have been my life's work and passion. However, please count on me to support all the students, all our beautiful students of Hackensack, because we're a team. We are not factions. We are united, and we all roll up our sleeves for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moncloa. I, for one, am very excited about what the future holds with Marcela leading this department. Tonight, we say goodbye to our Human Resources Manager, Tunde Adedoyin. This is his last meeting with us, and I would personally like to thank him for his service to our district and wish him much luck and success in his new district. He is leaving us to go back to his hometown, so I won't hold it against him. With that said, we are excited to announce that Ms. Yesenia Boudou Howell will be joining us as the district's new Human Resources Manager. She comes to us with many years of experience in human resources, and we are thrilled to have her join our team. Yesenia is currently out of state, but should be here virtually with us to introduce herself to the school community. Mr. Conte, is she there? Oh, there she is. Welcome, Yesenia. You're muted.
You're muted.
Yesenia, you're muted.
Thank you. We live in this virtual world. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me tonight. And it gives me a great pleasure to join the Hackensack Public School community. I have over 2 decades of experience in HR, specifically in K-12 platforms. It gives me a great honor to continue my journey with Hackensack as a leader. I consider myself a servant leader with a transformational lens because, as we know, education is transforming each and every day. I'm proud to know that Hackensack is making strides, and I love what the newly appointed bilingual supervisor or director just stated. Hackensack is a united front. So it gives me a great pleasure to serve on a panel of leaders and professionals who is a united front.
Okay, thank you, Yesenia. Welcome to Hackensack.
Thank you.
All right, now on to the enrollment report. Our current enrollment is 5,197 students, and a total of 13 HIB investigations were completed this past month. That concludes my report. Thank you.
All right. So now we are moving on to our public comments portion of the evening. So hopefully our participants have signed in, and please tell us your name, your municipality, and any group that you might be affiliated with that's important to tonight. Each person's comments are limited to 3 minutes. So I'm going to make a deal with you. It's not my favorite part of the night for when people might go over. So the way I would like to manage that tonight is, as soon as the bell rings, I'm going to say thank you. And that is your social cue to stop, because I don't want to have to make you stop. So I'm going to say thank you. And then if you would just stop, I'll do that to every person when the bell rings, and I'll say thank you. So please stop when that happens, and I would appreciate it. Please direct all comments to me as the presiding officer, and all responses will be held from our end, if there's a response that we are going to offer, we'll hold that till the end of the public comments. All right.
Hi, Andrea Oates Parchment, Hackensack, trustee and President Vickery. I wanted to acknowledge the district equity team. For the past 3 years, they have presented a 3-series session focusing on anti-racist teaching, cultural proficiency, and culturally relevant teaching or pedagogy. They have done an outstanding job in making all of us aware of these issues. Now, for phase 2, we will focus on applying what we learned in our classrooms and in our daily lives as educators in a culturally proficient environment. And I wanted to read by name all of the members of the district equity team and really thank them for the hard work and commitment over the last 3 years. Nicole Adams, Philip Brophy, Maureen Carroll, Roseanne Cavallo, Patricia Chandler, Richard Delvecchio, Asia Drakeford, Cassine Gaines, Christopher Hafler, Tanisha Hinton, Tony Jackson, Mark Johnson, Sanaya Johnson Shabazz, Dee Kalman, Deborah Keeling Geddes, Elizabeth Kennedy, Jason Kepke, Wendy Lamparelli, Tara Liebman, Claire Mackey, Nora Marr, Siobhan Marquez, Ebony McBride, Heather Mecca, Marcella Moncloa, Leslie Montone, Jacqueline Overton, Rashida Artamuso, Linda Pyro, Mario Santavanes, Anamati Service, and Jacqueline Stone. And I pray that I did not omit anyone. And I want to thank them for their service, and they demand a round of applause because if we say we're committed to this work, they deserve an applause. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joy Dorsey Whiting, and I'm the very proud principal of Hackensack Middle School. John Maxwell says, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Although I am very saddened that Ms. Moncloa is leaving us at Hackensack Middle School, I am overjoyed by the gift that she is giving to our entire district. She is indeed a leader who is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. As a team, we came together on July 1st, myself, Mr. Johnson, Ms. Moncloa, Dr. Skiba, and Ms. Cowens. We came together committed to serve the children of Hackensack Middle School with pride, passion, and purpose. And I was delighted to have Ms. Moncloa join our team. And I know that she will do an excellent job as a director of world language, bilingual, and ESL. And so it is with a great heart and love for you, Marcella, that I stand here and congratulate you on behalf of all the students at Hackensack Middle School. We love you. We are so very proud of you. And we know that you're going to do great things because you are a great woman. Congratulations.
Good evening. I'm Chris Moran, principal at Jackson Avenue School, and I promise I'm not going to talk about the Giants. I'll leave it at that. So, I know, Mr. Sanchez, I felt your pain yesterday. I did, I promise. So when I look at this, you know, it's a personnel agenda, but for us, it's personal. So there's a few things I'd like to speak to tonight. First, I'll start off with the retirements of my head custodian and my assistant custodian. For those of you who ever walked through Jackson Avenue, these men pride themselves on the cleanliness of our school day in and day out. They take great pride in all the work they do. They lead the team. There's 4 of them, and they work tirelessly every day. You know, it's not easy to clean up after 460 people, and I certainly don't envy the job of the custodians at the middle and the high school. That's for sure, because it's obviously much larger. However, these men come to work every single day. And, you know, you talk about pride, passion, and purpose. They know what that means. And for that, I'm proud that I've worked with them, alongside them. We've had our moments, but for 5 years, the commitment to the cleanliness of that school has never changed. And for that, I thank them. And we'll enjoy the next 7 months together. Mr. Sanchez stole a little bit of my thunder, but he can because he's the boss. So another one I want to speak to is Tunde Adedoyin. Took me 6 months to figure out how to say his last name. But he became somebody I trusted. Human resources is not easy. You know, there's a lot that goes through his job, but again, commitment, passion, understanding, respect. And I've dealt with him personally and professionally, and the man has handled everything with professionalism and class, and for that, I want to thank him, personally and publicly. And finally, for the past 10 years, life has served me well. I worked alongside and followed Dr. Dorsey Whiting from the back then 5-6 to the beauty of Hiller School, and a new beginning for me, and just to follow her and work alongside of her. Then I followed in the shoes of Miss Andrea Parchment at Jackson Avenue. So to stand here following them is actually an honor. But to speak, it's personal. You guys got it right. There's nobody that can lead this department to where it deserves and where it will go than Miss Monclova. Thank you on behalf of everybody. She is loved, she is committed, and I can promise you, tireless, for sure. So thank you all for that. Go Comets.
Anybody else?
Kasim Gaines, Hackensack. I too want to congratulate Ms. Monclova. Very excited. Great decision. And also thank Mr. Sanchez for the acknowledgement and Ms. Parchment for the acknowledgement for the entire district equity team. It was interesting to me that on the 14th, I was receiving this acknowledgement for work in equity and education. And on the 10th, I was co-running with my colleagues district professional development on equity and education. And on the 3rd at reorg, we had that conversation about equity in our schools regarding the vote for board leadership. And I think what really struck me was part of the work that I was recognized for was work that came out of a resolution that many of you passed, actually. A resolution that ultimately led to, in our schools, educators doing a lot of work on unconscious bias, on anti-bias, on cultural competency, on blind spots. And yet, in this room, the response that I got to my comment, I think was quite outrageous. Comments that I think highlight blind spots. We're not men, we're dads. I don't know how they're mutually exclusive things. It reminds me a little bit of like the "I'm not black, I'm OJ" comment. It just doesn't totally make sense to me. But the thing that I'm asking for us to consider is, what is the board doing in terms of cultural competency, anti-bias work? The resolution requires a lot of teeth for the educators and the staff, but I'm curious as to what the board is doing regarding that. I felt actually quite bad in that meeting, listening to all of these wonderful comments about Trustee Maury, all of these wonderful attributes she has, but I did not hear, and this is not to say there aren't any, I just want to be very clear, but I didn't hear any rationale given for why Mr. Rodriguez was voted vice president, besides, we need to stay the course, we're very satisfied. There were comments about status quo. I like what the new HR director said about transformational lens. We don't need status quo, we need transformation. When you look at these test scores in terms of Start Strong, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I actually am finding it very rude that you're just texting right now, I think. Maybe you're taking notes, But I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done. This is not a status quo time. We had a very rough last year in terms of widespread resignations. Ooh.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got you, Mr. Vickery.
I appreciate that. All right, who?
Trustee Vickery, may I have my 43 seconds? Andrea Parchment, Hackensack. I let Dr. Whiting make comments about Mrs. Monclova because she has her currently, but I had her first, and I would be, and I just could not sit and have Mr. Moran and Dr. Whiting make comments about Ms. Monclova, but I worked with her. She was administrator for me at Jackson Avenue Elementary School. Her efforts are tireless. She believes in the students, all students. She's brilliant, committed, and loves kids. She loves kids, and I love her. And I am so happy to be able to work with you in this capacity. Again, thank you, Mrs. Monclova, for all of your service. I wish you the best. Roll up your sleeves.
Hi, Donna West, President of HEA, Hackensack resident and teacher. I'll be quick. Ms. Monclova, I wanted to thank you. Congratulate you as well. I think I'm saying thank you too, like you're just moving along, I guess. Wonderful. I do want to highlight the fact that the new HR director made some comments that I do hope will push this district forward in a way that truly is transformational. We have spent the last almost 15 months on an emotional roller coaster as a staff because of some of the decisions that were being made in the HR department and others. And I'd be lying if I do wish you well, Mr. Adedoyan, but it was hard. And there were times where it was very difficult. We need someone, and I do hope that the new person is committed to being someone who cares about the staff. I'll just leave it at that. Because we cannot do what we need to do if we don't have the support of central office, our human resources department, to do the things that Ms. Parchment said, at the end of the presentation, that Hackensack has a lot of good to offer, but we need, I would say, reality to recognize that our children are in a place where they are dealing with more than just the educational. There's a lot of emotional things that are happening. And if we don't do something about that, that we will see scores like we saw the last time Ms. Parchment stood up here. But it also means you have to take care of the staff. And we cannot have directors who consistently seem to make the staff feel like we don't matter. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Gwenny Bird, and Mr. Vickery, I'm really here because I know you wanted to hear me. So I thought I'd come up just to say something this evening. First, want to say to Mrs. Monclova, congratulations. I had the privilege and pleasure of getting your classroom when you left Hiller's. Thank you for all those books. And some of them are still with me. And so congratulations to you. The best of luck. I'm sure that you will do extremely well. A couple of things that just came to mind this evening, and I just wanted to share. Our superintendent talked about the need for Black History Month all the time, not just in February. And so I'm glad you said that. It gave me an opening to make this statement. That several years ago, we talked about an Amistad curriculum. And to date, as a second grade teacher, I've only gotten Unit 1. And so I haven't gotten the other units for that curriculum. And so I'm just a little curious as to what happened in the completion of that curriculum. The other thing is that, as we look at different types of curriculums for our schools, very often not very often, but rarely do we find one that is inclusive in terms of historical background, in terms of cultural background. And so we always have to separate. This is Hispanic Heritage Month. This is African American History Month. It would be nice if we got a curriculum that was inclusive enough that we could teach those things all year long, so that the teachers don't have to constantly look for material. Material is provided for us instead of us constantly having to look for it. The other thing is that we are still, whether anybody wants to admit it or not, we are still in a pandemic. Look at the back of your Lysol can, it still says COVID. And so we are still in a pandemic, and we ignore the fact that our kids are still recovering. Our families are still recovering. And as much as we would like to say that they are back to normal, they are not. Academically, they're not. Emotionally, they're not. And so we have to be very conscious of that when we are trying to do all these wonderful things for them to make sure that they are actually okay. They're not okay right now. And it's great seeing administration do instructional rounds, but how about just regular rounds? How about just coming around on a regular basis, not because it's an instructional round, but just because you wanted to drop in and see how we were doing. That would certainly be a boost to our administrators to know that somebody came not to check out after them, but just to see how they're doing. And that's the one thing that's been lacking during this whole pandemic, is that no one's been checking to see how we're doing. We've been struggling. It's been hard. It is still hard. We are still struggling. And so it would be nice to see what administration plans to do about it. Have a good evening.
Is there anybody online?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Anthony Ziza, Maple Hill Drive in Hackensack. My son is a special ed student at Parker. I'm just calling tonight. I see that there's a transfer happening, a behaviorist to a teaching position. And while I understand maybe these teaching positions, which are seeming to be unfilled, need to be filled, what are the plans for the board to make sure that these consultancy positions and sort of these support positions are being fulfilled? My son, has the help of one of this district's phenomenal behaviorists. And as a special ed parent, I am a little bit concerned that due to the staffing issues that the district seems to be facing in particularly, special ed programs, these programs that need significant amounts of support, paras, the different consultant support staffs. I am concerned, what are the plans to make sure that not only are the classrooms filled, but that the people who are there to provide the additional services that students like my son need are providing those services, and that those services are being provided. Obviously, whoever is in our behaviorist caseload now does not have a behaviorist who is working with them. And, I am very concerned about a disservice being done to our special ed population here by moving their support staff. And I understand we need people in the classroom, but it seems like that's something that needs to be addressed outside. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ziza.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tony Jackson, Hackensack, teach at Parker. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So first of all, I want to say thank you to Andrea for the shout out to the district equity team. I've been a proud member of the equity team, and I've been happy and thankful to serve along with my colleagues. It is, it's hard work. I'm proud of what we've done over the last couple of years, but, I think we all have legitimate concerns moving forward to make sure that the work is still being done. I'm thankful for the participation of, our amazing staff, everybody who has, been putting in the work to address biases and, work towards justice and equity with us. But I know that some folks are experiencing difficulty. It can be tough to learn these things and reflect and be challenged. And I just wanted to address that. Sometimes there is an idea that because we're in Hackensack and we have diversity, we're a diverse community, that means that we're okay. But I just want to point to what's happening in Florida, where, someone who potentially could be in the highest office in the land at some point is pushing forward something that is, erasure of the history of marginalized folks. Right here in Hackensack, we had a board member who, of her own volition, stepped down eventually, wasn't forced out, but who had come out against the teaching of LGBTQ plus history and rights. And so I don't ever want us to forget as a community and as a staff how close we are to going to a point where this all goes away. And I just want us to continue to fight for making sure, woke is a pejorative term right now. But I don't want people to be scared of that. People have, said things like, how woke do we have to be? And we have to be woke enough that we won't, we won't close our eyes and sleep on the erasing of history and protections for our staff, our students, our community, so that everybody can feel their full self. And I want to make sure that we are continuing that work strongly. I want to shout out to Gwenny, my colleague as well. And I want to follow up what she said. She said, when you're coming around, feel free to even a step further. If y'all who, are able to, who have teaching certifications, if y'all want to come in and, teach a lesson, you're very well welcome into room 411 in LEK Parker. I would love for you to get that experience and see what it feels like with these kids. So, please, I'm sure that my illustrious principal would be willing to set that up. But yeah, I want to make sure that the work is being done all around by everyone who needs to be a part of it. So thank you very much for your time. Peace.
Thank you. Anybody else online? Good. Anybody else in the room? Y'all are killing me.
I just have 1 minute left. Please, please, please leave the part-time paras alone.
Sorry, I'll have to follow up on that. We do have a lot of EC staff, ECDC, part-time para staff. I'm Suzanne Greenberg from ECDC, special ed teacher. And I really want to support our part-time paras. I know we had some issues. I appreciate you guys for fixing the issue that we thought was an issue, but is no longer. But with that being said, I really think our part-time paras deserve a clearer contract that states like what they get, like just so that they know their contract is essentially a one-line sentence saying what their hourly wage is. But I feel like they should have rights too, whether or not they have their sick days and they carry over. It needs to be a little more transparent. And I feel like this is the second year in a row where we've kind of had some issues with their contracts. And again, there are not people knocking down the doors trying to work at ECDC or be paras here. So we really need to keep the people that we have. They're incredible. I really believe in them. I think they're the hardest working people around. Like, step into any classroom, our paras are on the floor. They don't stop moving. They barely get a minute to use a bathroom if they have to. So really, we need to keep who we have here. We need to make Hackensack a place where people want to come and work and want to be a part of. We want them to show them that we're a community and we support everybody from our part-time paras all the way up to our superintendent. We need to be a family.
Good evening, everybody. Ms. Moncloa, congratulations. My name is Sharnetta Harris. I'm a part-time para at ECDC. And I wanted to just address the fact that we have a list of part-time paras who, when the time comes, will be made full-time. I just wanted to know, how often will we be notified of this happening? That's my question.
I'm gonna. Anybody else? All right. We're clear over there? Okay, good. So let me quickly run through what I can answer most. I'm going to save the congratulations till after we vote, obviously. So, but they're coming. We talked so the curriculum about the Amistad curriculum. So from what I heard, we have Unit 1, or that you've only been provided Unit 1. So Mr. Sanchez, I was going to have a response tonight, but that's the information that we heard. So I'll let you take it from there with whomever you need to take it to from there, and figure that out. Because that obviously is a commitment that we have in this district. So Ms. Harris, thank you. So as far as what she's referring to is, we know that our full-time paras, as they choose to leave, retire, whatever, we made, and again, it's based on a budget, a yearly budget, but we know that this is how many we can sustain for this year's budget. And then there's a master list has been created of seniority, basically, of how people are in that list. So the best answer that I can give to that is, when we know, when the district is notified of someone leaving or retiring, then that person, the person who's next on said list, which y'all have, will be notified that is coming. And then obviously the board meetings, we pass the agenda, and then that's what makes it official, and then it goes into place at that point. But it's kind of hard because we can't really say when people are going to make that decision. But when it happens, we notify the next person on the list. The others were just mainly comments, so there's not really much that we can address there. But thank you for your comments. We hear them, heard them, and we will take them all into account. So that is going to end our public comment section. Thank you. We will move into approving our minutes from last meeting. Be it resolved that the Hackensack Board of Education approves the regular meeting minutes and closed session minutes of December 19th, 2022, and the annual organization meeting minutes of January 4th, 2023 as submitted. Can I have a motion for that?
I move. Second.
Mr. Carroll, second. Mr. Coleman, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? And there are none. Thank you. So now we will start working through our resolutions. We'll start with personnel. Mr. Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. It should be noted that all salaries listed in the agenda are prorated. But I move upon the recommendation of the superintendent for the approval of personnel actions 8.1, A through Y.
Mr. Coleman made a motion. Can I have a second for that?
Second.
Mr. Carroll. Roll call, please.
Yes. Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Cordero Alton,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery,
Yes.
Ms. Maury,
Yes.
Mr. Oates,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you so much. Are we glad because Ms. Whitaker walked in?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I mean, I wish I got that kind of. Paul, moving to policy.
Good evening, policy. I'm excited to be chair for this year of policy. We had a great meeting the other night. First read policies, a lot of them are mandates, some revisions and abolishings. We're going to look forward to doing some great things this year as we set the direction, set policy to move this district forward. Policy is the engine that drives this thing. So I move policy right here, B1, B2.
All right. Mr. Oates made a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Cordero Alton. Is there any discussion that any board members might have for this section of policy? Calm down. All right. So we'll do a roll call.
Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Cordero Alton,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery,
Yes.
Ms. Maury,
Yes.
Mr. Oates.
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Somerville.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And so we'll move to curriculum.
Okay, thank you. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be at the meeting, but Mrs. Somerville, she kept me updated as to what happened and things that we could highlight. So C1 and C2 are pretty standard for curriculum. C3 is the approval of the field trip location to the Jackie Robinson Museum. C4, it is the approval of the student teachers. C6
6, it is the approval of the new courses for seniors, which is reading and writing for social justice. Let's see, for C8, it is the approval for the partnership with William Patterson University to participate in their Literacy for Empowerment in English and Spanish grant. 10 teachers will be going and participating. C10, it is the acknowledgement of the sale of our older provider, Apple Tree Preschool, to the new provider, Bright Seedlings. C11 is the approval of the contract with Bright Seedlings LLC. C12 is the approval of the formation of the Hackensack High School Student Club entitled Philosophy Club, which will meet at the high school every Monday. And I motion item C1 to C13 for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Maury. Ms. Somerville, thank you. Any discussion on any of those items? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Cordero Alton,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery,
Yes.
Ms. Maury,
Yes.
Mr. Oates.
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Somerville,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, moving on to section D, finance and budget. Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to move for finance and budget resolutions items D1 through D9.
All right. Mr. Carroll, seconded, thank you. And is there any discussion that anybody has for those items?
Mr. Ben, should I do roll call?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Cordero Alton,
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery,
Yes.
Ms. Maury,
Yes.
Mr. Oates,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Somerville.
Yes, ma'am, sorry.
No, just on D1. You want to go over and just explain the changes for D1?
I'll be glad to. Yes, so D9. What we're doing for D9 is one of our board goals for 2023 is how we handle our board committees. And so the way that you see all of these, all the things that we are going through the resolutions now, those are all broken down into different committees. That keeps us mired in my opinion, the weeds of the business of the district. We need to be flying at 30,000 feet, and looking more at a strategic level, doing strategic planning on talking about our plan on how we're going to strategically work with the district, Mr. Sanchez, on test scores from a strategic level. We need to be doing visioning work, and when it comes to buildings and grounds and what's the long range plan there. We need to, as we move forward, if there's going to be a new building in our future, that needs to be in the discussion that's up here. And so the way that we're going to do that is in restructuring our committees is instead of going through all the things, now we still vote on all this, and we will still have a time where we are able to make sure that all of our, as we're looking over our agenda and all of our responsibilities, that we know all the pieces of the business, and that there's time to be able to ask questions. But we're going to intentionally be able to be strategically planning and visioning for our district so that we can get where we need to be. And so in doing that, we're going to streamline the committees to finance and facilities. Those two, we can't really be dreaming about what's next with our buildings and our facilities, if it's not somewhat tied to money. Those are kind of hard to separate. Our curriculum and instruction, that deals with our students in the big picture. And then personnel and management, that's our staff. Now, what you might ask, where's our policy? Well, we were all elected to be policy makers. That's what we do. And so Mr. Oates is the chair of policy. He will carry what I call the big nerd notebook, and he will have his big notebook of policies. And when we are needing to deal with a policy in any of those committees, we will invite Mr. Oates into said meeting, and he will flip open that notebook, and we will and we'll have the appropriate, staff person that is attached to that, and they will come in and we will work on policy in that meeting, so that we can figure out what it is. So if it's attached to it, if there's some student, it's deals with some student curriculum, whatever, that's where we'll start working and tearing apart that policy and figuring it out. It has to do with some building use issue that we're having to try to figure out. We'll do it in building finance and facilities. And if it's some personnel type situation that we're trying to work out, we'll do it in personnel and management. Because like I said, we were all elected to be policymakers. And so, again, this is one of our board goals for 2023 that we approved at the end of last year or sometime in last year. And we're going to hit the ground running, trying to see if this can impact the way we do things in our district, so that we can really, hopefully, really stay where we should be in our strategic planning and visioning. Thank you, Ms. Somerville, for letting us have that.
So I will
comment.
recall Ms. Somerville. How do you vote?
Yeah, that's not a vote.
Are you done? Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I'm sorry.
no,
if I didn't-
I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, so are you yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now.
Motion passes, sorry.
Yes,
motion
thank you.
passes.
We're gonna get it together. Buildings and grounds.
Yes, sir. Thanks again. So I'd like to bring forth motions E1 through E4. I'd like to highlight a couple of things. There's a lot of facilities projects always going on, but we are wanting to approve. This highlight E2 is the Hackensack High School auditorium renovation of girls' locker room. And E3 includes upgrading and replacement of surveillance systems to several different buildings, the high school, the middle school, the Board of Ed, and ECDC. So I'd like to motion for items E1 through E4.
Thank you. Can I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Cordero Outen. Roll call, please.
Yeah. Mr. Bendezu is absent. Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Cordero Alton?
Yes.
Mr. James Vickery?
Yes.
Ms. Maury?
Yes.
Mr. Oates?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Somerville?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now, do we have any old business that anyone needs to bring?
Yes,
Back?
I do. A topic that I wanted to revisit was adding the second public comments. If we ever, well, we never really discussed it. We said we were gonna talk about it and see if we felt the need for it. If we could talk about it now to add the second public comments back. The reason why I'm bringing it back up is because the topic of transparency keeps coming up, saying that you want to be transparent to the public. And I think the best way to be transparent is by answering their questions. So after we vote on things, people might still have questions as to why we voted a certain way or whatever it is that we're doing at the moment. So just to put it out there.
Okay, so,
What do you recommend? What do we recommend?
when to put it.
Yeah, what would do to another 3-minute session, a 3-minute session just for the
I think
agenda
it would be
items?
shorter. I would say it would have to be definitely shorter than the first one.
Is
Because
that-
it would be
Yeah.
following up with whatever it is that we just voted on.
Right. So if you were to abstain on something and vote no on something, you would explain what would happen at that time or no? Like,
Well, not us. The public has the option to come
Oh, okay. All right.
and speak.
All right. I think it used to be years ago is that there would be a 3-minute time on agenda items and then 3 minutes on, I don't know when that went away. That was before our time. I think, right? Is that before you? Was that before?
No.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
No,
It was.
no, it happened during
your time?
Yeah,
You
because
guys?
I was on the board when it went away.
So it used to be 3 minutes.
So it was still
3
3
and 2.
minutes.
I don't remember which order that was,
Okay.
but 3 minutes for one of them. For 3 and 2, I can't remember which order, but one of them was, the first section was just for agenda items.
Okay.
We voted, so we would listen to what the public had for just the agenda items, and we voted on said agenda items. And then the next section was for anything they want to talk about.
Mhm.
I can't remember what the 2 and 3, what was what.
Let's keep it at 3 and 3. Oh, 3 and 1?
3 and 1.
But my Miss West is here, she's my,
Witness. Yeah, all right.
Just shared it was 3 and 1. 3 and 3 and 3, but it was 3 and 1.
Yeah?
So I'm thinking 3 and 2.
I'm all-
We know why it went away. But it was 3 and 1.
It went away, I think. Well,
Is
you
it
guys
a-
can answer
No, I'm
that.
just saying, did it go away because there's a time base to it? Like the meetings are running longer and longer and longer and longer? So,
I think if it goes longer past 10 o'clock, we always vote to extend the meeting anyway. And I think we're all down with that. We've had that happen before. But
What if we move the comment timing to after that?
What do you mean?
No, because then if there's
It's a follow-up,
issues,
she's
yeah,
saying.
it's a
So
follow-up.
it's a
So if
follow-up.
there's issues that's on the agenda that we're not aware of, they bring it to us ahead of time before we vote.
Okay, so I think if not because of the extension of the meeting, but more than 3, 1, 3, 2.
we got any takers? What do you got? We got 3 and 1, 3 and 2. What do we got out there? Anything?
I mean,
I think 3 and 3. But that's just me.
I can't do 3 and 3. I have kids at home, so
Oh.
I have to get home before midnight.
But we don't.
So if we can,
yeah.
figure out a way.
I
If
think
we can-
3 to
and-
1 is
No,
a
but if we can-
reasonable
I'm
time.
all for
So 3 minutes for
transparency,
3
if we
minutes
can
for
figure
regular
out a
open
way
comment.
to make sure the time
One
works,
follow-up?
right? Then that's perfectly fine and good, but we have to figure out a way of time control, because we can't always be.
About 3 and 1 and a
over
half.
the
About
10
3, 1 and a half.
time, Right?
I honestly think a minute is sufficient for a follow-up question. You know, like
So-
if
so this
if-
is a fol-
if it's
so-
a follow-up,
Go ahead.
let's let
No,
them.
no. So here's the thing though, is in the past, and so I'm just saying what was in the past, it wasn't really a follow-up to what we did.
It was just an additional.
It was an additional for any topic. Because the first section, you had to stay on agenda items only, or you were asked to wait till the next thing. So it doesn't, it's not necessarily a follow-up.
Right, it doesn't have to be a follow-up. I'm
So
just
1
giving that
minute, I'm just saying
example.
1 minute may not be sufficient if you have a comment about, let's say, the referendum or whatever it may be.
All right, so can I just ask you a question, because you just said, initially, it was, we're only doing the agenda item, right? The structure has changed that you can come to the mic and pretty much talk about anything that you want within your 3 minutes. We don't limit you anymore to the agenda items. So you're not following that strict structure, so why is the additional second comment required if we would just allow people to speak to the agenda item and then continue whatever conversation that they wanted? Just open that up that you can just come to the mic. Or are we saying we're only doing the agenda item and then you have a 1 minute comment section, right? Just open the mic and you can
Open
have
the mic.
3 minutes to discuss if you want an agenda topic or anything else that you may want to bring to the
Because in
forefront.
the day,
No, but
they
I'm
would
saying
have gotten, so what I think,
But
this
we
is-
have changed that structure is what you're saying. Now you can just come to the mic, so that second follow-up is not necessarily.
see, it wasn't a follow-up though. They had 2 minutes though.
I understand what
So,
I'm
but
saying.
what I'm assuming it feels like to the public is that they've lost 2 minutes of their time to be able to talk. So they had 5 minutes and now they have 3 minutes. And
So can we then just change the time to 4 minutes for you to have a conversation and then it's a good balance?
No.
No,
3 minutes.
2 and 2.
Three and one.
so the way this, okay, so I will say this just so I know that I'm thankful that we are having an open discussion, but just so that the way we don't do this often, so I'm proud of you all. But the way this works is somebody has to make a motion for something to move forward,
Before
or
make
we
a
just
motion,
talk.
can we just check Robert's rules and just make sure that we're in compliance with how the meetings are supposed to be run and whether or not we can or cannot do it? And then we can
Right here.
come back to the
Right
next
here.
meeting?
So I
Oh,
can,
thank you.
answer that. You have an order in your bylaws. I don't have it in front of me, which you have adopted. And in that bylaw, which you handled, you readopted the order at your reorg meeting. In that bylaw, there's also the permission for the president to make modifications as needed, okay? So in my opinion, if you wanted to, you have one of two options here. You can adopt a bylaw, go through the process of adopting an amendment to your bylaw to include a second public comment, which I would advise you to take a look and make sure it's not there to begin with. And second of all, you can, or simultaneously, you as a board can request that your board president modify the next agenda to include a second public comment while you go through the process of amending your bylaw. So your bylaw sets up the structure for how your meetings are supposed to go. It allows for your board president to amend that as needed. You can go through the formal process of doing it, or you could go through the less formal process, which would then allow, if it doesn't work out, which won't make me very popular for the public for saying that, but if it doesn't work out, then would allow you to revert back to your old format on a more flexible schedule. You could if you want to ask your president to do that, make a motion recommending an additional 2-minute, whatever it might be. Ms. Mowry brought this up, so it would probably be your motion. We can vote on whether or not the board at general feels that that's appropriate, and then for the next meeting, Scott can use his powers to amend the agenda ahead of that meeting to include a second public comment while you guys discuss whether or not you want to make that a formal bylaw.
Got it.
Thank you. Do we have to specify what part of, when does that happen?
I would recommend, if you're not sure, then you should maybe move this off until you are sure how you want to run it. You can have more discussion, but I would be as specific as possible.
When did it happen before? You guys remember? When did it used to happen before? Was it before old
So
business?
we did like our normal presentations, superintendent, and then we did public comment for agenda items only for 3 minutes, and then we voted on our resolutions, and then we went straight back into public comments for any item.
So I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is-
So I think I'm hearing like different things though, right? So you presented it right now as in, let's bring back or do this to address old business. That's what I thought I heard you say. So like, it would be that the public would have the
It would give them the
opportunity
opportunity,
to
right?
discuss whatever they
Or
had now
anything.
time to simmer on from the meeting before, right? Okay, so I just want to make sure that we're very clear with what she's requesting. I want to make sure that the audience is very aware of
But I don't want to
she's
limit
proposing.
it. It's not limiting to that. I'm giving that as an example where people can discuss things after we vote on it to give them that opportunity, right? We want to give them.
After we vote on it in this session, so
Correct.
we just passed a whole bunch of stuff and we want to now allow the opportunity to the community to
Question.
comment on
Mhm.
what we voted on either now or next time, right?
Well, yeah, now.
Right, either now or
So,
next time.
so for example, if one of us were to abstain, they could say,
Well, they can't because there's rules, right? So
No,
there's
they can-
rules. They can ask, why did you abstain? But then if you actually gave a comment greater, then it would kind of overrule your abstention, is what I gather from Robert's rules.
Correct.
I do request that when people abstain from a vote, you do provide a comment. I am gonna ask for that going forward, that you give something, whether it be conflict of interest, don't have enough information, need more information. But I think in that situation, if she were to abstain, I think Robert's rules is very clear that if you abstain, it can't be asked later why you did, in that kind of then knows your abstention. Goes against the point of you abstaining from the vote. Not like me requesting that there be a comment. So
Well,
difference.
That's what I'm referring to, meaning conflict.
Right, so I just want to make sure, so you're asking that they have the opportunity to, either vote now or discuss now something that we just passed, or discuss something that we passed prior with this extra minute or 2 minutes, whatever's decided. Right? Okay, I just want to make sure we're very clear, because I agree with Marlene too, in that the 3 minutes that they are given, they're not always focused on the agenda at hand. They're bringing up other and outside comments. So I understand what she's saying there too, because we're not sticking to the agenda for 3 minutes, right? So I just want to be very clear.
The structure changed
what
to
the 2
allow them
minutes will
just
be
to
for.
comment for the 3 minutes. That's why the 1 minute went away. They're no longer binded to just the topics we have on the agenda. So are you saying the extra minute, again, is for them to come back after we have voted on something, then to give their feedback or to ask additional questions? If that's the case, then that's something thoroughly,
So all I'm saying is what happened in the past. The first time was for agenda items only. The second time was for whatever you wanted to talk about. That's all I know.
That's what we're all saying.
Right, so-
At least I'm saying,
Yeah.
I won't speak for everybody else. We allow them with that 3 minutes to talk about anything. They are not restricted.
Currently,
So
yes.
anyone that came to the mic can discuss any topic that they feel like. It's not just the agenda item.
Correct.
So for the extra minute that Jen is asking for, you're saying that if we took a vote, right, and voted on something, then they have a minute, if you want to, for them to come back to ask you maybe why you voted yes or why you voted no, or to have follow-up questions to what we, as the sitting members here, do, right? Because it's not about a commentary. They can comment on anything that they want. You have changed the policy to allow for that. It's free-flowing comments. It's not restricted to the agenda.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, it's a public comment. I mean, we could. I like the idea of keeping the public comment separate. I think I was hearing a lot of that out there, that you would like this extra minute or 2 minutes to be separate and aside from the 3 minutes that is already being allotted. I understand that concept, and I also think it would be a lot easier for us to differentiate between what was discussed in the 3 minutes and then what was discussed in this very specific 2 minutes, which would be ideally related to how votes were issued on the agenda, either for a former meeting or a current meeting, right? So I like the idea of keeping it separate. I understand the request to want that, but then I'm also going to suggest that it actually be done in that way, where what's being discussed is either a question and then obviously allowing us time to not Agenda immediately item. respond, because I may have a list of 10 different reasons why I voted yes or no on something. So affording us the opportunity to hear what you would like explained further and in greater detail based on our vote, and then allowing us to come back with that in the following meeting. If that would be acceptable, I would be absolutely okay with that.
I just want to thank you guys for being open to this idea and discussing it thoroughly. I mean, it was brought up in the past, and I just wanted to make sure that we touched upon it again. It wasn't forgotten.
Do we allow online for the second part also?
So
You would have to.
I think we would
You
have
would
to.
You would have to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, if I may, just to assist, so you've had a lot of good ideas. You could discuss this further in smaller subgroups, since there's been a lot of conversation. You don't have to make a decision tonight. Right now, your board bylaws, and for members of the public who might want to look it up, it's 0164, conduct of a board meeting, states that for the purposes of public comment, which is supposed to be item 6 on your agenda, individuals may address the board once on agenda and social matters of community interest for 3 minutes on any item. And then further down is the language that says that the order of the agenda may be modified by the board president at his or her discretion based on the need to conduct the business of the board and to expedite the meeting. So you're welcome to make a motion. You're welcome to continue the conversation. It sounds like there's a lot of good ideas. If they want to start by proposing an amendment to a bylaw, I can work you through that process. And that might then start a discussion at the next meeting that's more structured, because you'll have thought through what it is that you want to propose rather than doing it on the fly tonight.
But can I at least make the motion to bring back the second public comment?
I mean, you're welcome to. Any member can make a motion. Whether or not that is going to be structured enough, it would be to recommend to the board president that he consider adding a second public comment to the next meeting. You making that motion without dictating what you're doing during that time, that's to your discretion. I would not necessarily advise not knowing what the purpose of the second public comment is and making the motion to create it anyway.
Okay, and then this would be discussed during policy, or?
You could discuss it during policy. You could discuss it in less than a quorum, kind of. If you and Lizette want to get together to talk about what you want to propose as a proposed amendment bylaw, that would be appropriate. Just as long as you're not making a public meeting out of it.
Okay. So I guess
it's just a suggestion this way that you guys can move forward with this and have it ready for the next board meeting and still be in process. I agree.
Okay, so then I guess we'll wait until we meet and then we'll bring it back up in February, correct?
Define
We'll meet before then and have a
Well, define
resolution
a
for that.
structure and then, decide, how you guys are gonna proceed.
So do I have to motion that?
No.
Okay.
And just another opportunity that we are going to have just while we're on this topic and they're here with us, we're going to have a board retreat sooner rather than later. And this may be a topic that we can, because we'll have to publicize it to the public and
Everybody will be in the room.
and well, they can or not. It'll be about 5 hours. And what I want to know, if you all will at some point soon tell me your preference, whether that is going to be, if you prefer a evening type situation or like a Saturday or Sunday type situation where we can be together. I will provide a meal, but we are gonna talk about some of these kind of core issues of strategic planning and this may be something that we can work out together. Not now. I mean, just let me know this week. That got a little awkward, sorry. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Maury. Anybody have any other old business before we move on from old business? All right, anybody have any new business? Oh, what? Oh, that was new business, my bad. All right, then, board comments. Let's start with, okay, I'm gonna give her a break since she got us talking. Ms. Cordero Outen, would you start tonight?
I will. I did take some notes for a second. Bear with me. I don't know if Ash is still here, but I really enjoyed the reporting that he provided, and I really appreciate it. I made this note before he made the comment himself about bear with me as he was pronouncing people's names. I made the comment prior to that here on my notes that I really appreciated the time that he took to pronounce those names properly to the best of his ability. And I honestly didn't think I heard anything that was incorrect. So I really enjoyed the report that he provided. Mrs. Oates Parchment's summary, I didn't enjoy it. not anything to do with her. I just, obviously those numbers, are a little disappointing, but I actually heard a lot tonight, from several different people who likely didn't even realize that that's what they were doing. But I heard from several of you tonight that said, you know, our students are going through a lot. Our teachers are going through a lot still. You know, COVID is still here, right? We're still dealing with the aftermath of the past 2 years, let alone the third year that we're in now. So as much as I don't like those numbers, I also think there's a lot behind those numbers. And I absolutely agree with the sentiments here tonight that we as a district are capable of more. We are doing more. Our students are doing more. And I don't think that I would solely rely on those numbers as an accurate representation, considering everything that takes place in the school that you don't see on that report. So I did appreciate that. I did hear that same sentiment come from a lot of you here today, and I really appreciate that. I did take some notes here. Cassine, I was gonna congratulate you as well. And all I have to say is please keep doing what you're doing. We may not always like to hear it, right? Not me personally, right? Or any one individual, but we need that to be held accountable and to keep doing the good work for the community. And it would only be a disservice if you didn't, if none of you did. It would truly just be a disservice to us and most importantly to our children. So congratulations. Everybody else's, again, I took a lot of notes. It was really nice to hear everybody speak today. I hope to get more of that. And I really, that's what I wanted to, I busted out the Chromebook because I wanted to say, there's a document up here. So we all know I'm new, right? So I'm like digging in on everything I could find. I got access to files I didn't even know I probably shouldn't have. But there is a document out on the Board of Education website, and it was so nice hearing all of the accolades that Ms. Moncloa received today. And I don't think that it should only be in moments like this. I mean, it was great. I was tearing up. And it must have felt really good for you. But there is a document that I found out on the Board of Ed website, and who knows when's the last time it ever been used, but it is called Hackensack Employee Honor Roll. And I would really love, apparently it's been out there since 2013, but do more of that. Do more of supporting your fellow teachers and your fellow administration by submitting this document on their behalf so that you can have the board take a special look at them because they deserve it, because they've done something extra special and outstanding, even if they've just inspired you. So that's it for me. I wanted to make mention of that document. It's under the Board of Education website.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Dimitri, or Mr. Carroll, I'm losing it.
Thank you. I just want to say congratulations to Mr. Gaines on your recognition and for all the hard work you do. I'm always hearing students talk about how they enjoy your class, and students who are disappointed that they weren't in your class. So again, congratulations. I want to welcome the new HR, Miss Howell, I believe her name is, Miss Howell, to the district, and hope she can help us move forward. Ms. Moncloa, congratulations. It was good to hear all the comments people made about you, which shows that we made the right decision, or should I say Mr. Sanchez? Made the right decision. Tunde, I don't know if he's still here. Is he still here? Is he somewhere?
He is back there.
Sir, I appreciate you. It's been a pleasure knowing you. Congratulations, I guess. And we wish you the best. And the equity team, keep doing what you're doing, all of you. You're appreciated, and thank you for all the hard work. And That's about it. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?
Don't want to reiterate what Demetrius just said, but just want to congratulate all those that were honored. I think that Mr. Sanchez and his staff are doing a great job in trying to move the district forward. Obviously, the numbers that Andrea shared with us are concerning, and I think that they're making the right choices to try to make that change. And I think we are going in the right direction. You know, it's I think that the one word that I like from today was united, and I think we are here more than ever. And that's why I think that we're going to be going in the right direction. I had some things down, but I kind of went off of it. I always want to thank Ash. I enjoy his commentary. Usually, he always gets us started on a positive, really good note. I had some stuff scribbled down that I'm not going to say, but I'm just happy with the dynamic of the board, and I think that we're going to be, you know, working hard and making a lot of big changes and doing big things this year. We're going to try at least. Thanks, and have a good night.
Thank you, Ms. Maury.
Good evening, everyone. I didn't see you guys at the last meeting, so Happy New Year. Happy Lunar New Year to those who celebrate. I wanted to thank back in December, Nellie K. Parker for hosting an event called Let's Make a Gingerbread House event. It was phenomenal. My whole family was watching. It was instructional, yet engaging, fun. Everyone received a house kit and goodie bags. And inside the goodie bags was a little token of how every country or how every religion celebrates the holidays. So it was nice. We got to wear the crown for the Three Kings Day, and we had the dreidel. It was a very fun time with my family. So thank you so much for allowing me to participate or be a part of it. The Start Strong data, Mrs. Parchment. Thank you so much, as always, you know, for all the data and the information. It always sheds a very big light as to, you know, the positives and the challenges that we're facing as a district, right? And I remember back many years ago, the lowest scores were usually always language arts, right? It used to always be reading and writing where our students were struggling. And according to the data, now it's the opposite. Now it's math and science. And science is usually one of those topics where kids are more involved, it's more hands-on, and they're more engaged. So it's a little disheartening, you know, to see those numbers, to say that that's where they need the strongest support in science. So, you know, again, we are all working together as a team, and, you know, being part of curriculum, I love seeing what things we are implementing and giving our students a chance to succeed in these subjects. Also, thank you for reporting and shouting out the district equity team. You did listen, I went to one meeting and I saw how dedicated and how passionate those individuals were, and thank you for shouting them out. To Ash, your student report, it was great. Thank you for breaking it down into 5 different parts. And your enthusiasm and recognizing other student achievements, that's exactly what we want to hear. And that's what a student leader does. Congratulations to Mr. Gaines. Awesome work, as always, for standing up, advocating for students, for advocating for teachers. You know, receiving an award for equity in education, it's a huge deal. One that definitely needs to be recognized. Congratulations to those students who received scholarships on that scholarship night. It's a huge, I can only imagine as a parent receiving a scholarship, you know, for my child. An awesome recognition. And Mrs. Moncloa, congratulations once again. We are very excited to have you and to still keep you. Thank you so much for still staying with us. And I'm looking forward to the February event. So if there's anything going on in schools, I will try my best to be there. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night.
All right, Ms. Somerville?
Hi, good evening, everyone. So first I'm going to start with Ash. Ash told me when he came in that he got a haircut based on the last meeting wearing a hat. So Ash, congratulations, you look lovely. Kasim, I have to apologize to you. Honestly, I signed up for the New Jersey School Board Alerts, and it popped up on my phone that, you know, Kasim Gaines, and I kind of glanced over it and went back to doing what I was doing. I was in the office, and then I had to look again because all this time I honestly thought your name was Kasim and not Kasim. So my sincere apologies for the last year of pronouncing your name incorrectly, and you should have by now said, you know, Miss Somerville, talking to the wrong person, what my name is. So I apologize for pronouncing the name incorrectly, and congratulations. Again, that's a huge achievement, and I'm sure your peers and your students are very proud of you. Also, that came up on the news alert was for Jaden Hall, about him receiving the NAACP Freedom Fund Award, and I thought that was, you know, phenomenal. I know based on the report that Ms. Parchment gave, it's a little disheartening, right? We see the numbers and we kind of take a glance, and in the bigger picture of things, sometimes it looks like we're not where we want to be, but Jaden Hall is the prime example of Hackensack does good things, right? We produce. I mean, lots of us here, I'm myself, I'm a product of the Hackensack school system, right? A lot of people that are sitting here are the product of school system, and so are some of our principals, you know, assistant principals and educators that are sitting in the room. So Hackensack has the potential, right? We have been there, we can get there again to do really good things. I think we just need to focus, you know, get back to somewhat of normal and try to do the best we can to move forward for our kids. So for everybody out there that every day you guys come in and you guys have your, you know, your nose to the grind and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you have my respect. I, you know, definitely appreciate it. I still have nieces and nephews that are in the district, even though my kids have aged out. And, you know, every day they come in, they're happy, they're excited. When I'm helping with homework, you know, everybody is really, word I'm looking for, they're really excited about getting back into school the next day, right? And I think that's a start, right? We went through COVID for 2 years and everybody was a little disheartened, things were a little dark. And I think there's some light that's coming back to the kids and their personalities, their behaviors, and them being excited about school. So anything that you guys are doing to make that, you know, a regular everyday process, my respect, you know, and keep up the good work. For Ms. Moncloa, I don't know you, I've never met you, but everybody here, all the praises tonight, right, have speak so highly of you. So congratulations, welcome, and you know, the best. And the board is here to support you. So, you know, if you need anything, let Mr. Sanchez know, if you'll let us know. Let's see, Ms. Parchment, congratulations to you and the equity team on the work that you guys have done, you know, over the last year. You guys have certainly made a difference and it's appreciated. Tunde, I'm not quite sure what to say. It's been a challenging year, right? It's a lot that has been going on, but I definitely, you know, appreciate you hanging in there with Hackensack, you know, doing the best that you can under sometimes very difficult circumstances. So we, you know, I wish you had had time to mature here. I mean, and I can understand and respect the fact that it's easier commute and kind of sort of working from home, right? I know you're not leaving because of us, but maybe because of them, but not because of me. But you're not leaving because of us. You're leaving because it's better for you. And while that may be a sad parting for Hackensack, we wish you the best and, you know, congratulations and best wishes moving forward. And, you know, for everybody else that's here, looking forward to a productive 2023, hoping that, you know, we can get more done, move the district forward, work together, you know, to make sure that everything is smooth and easy. So again, thank you everybody for coming out. It's getting late. I will close. Again, good luck and looking forward. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Powell?
It is getting late. Gotta go to work, but I'm here. Thank you all for coming out. As usual, it's nice to see you all. And I'll be quick. Just want to, first, I always start off by thanking our superintendent and his administrative staff. It's not easy. Keep working hard. We believe in you, and we believe in your team, and I'm sure you'll be successful. It's just not easy. Thank our teachers. You do a yeoman's job, it's not easy. You had my son, so I know it wasn't easy. So thank you all again. And I always told you thanks over and over and over for the job that you did to all our kids, and especially the wonderful job you did to my son. Mr. Moran, really thank you. And Ms. Monclo, well deserved. That's it in a nutshell. Couldn't have happened to a better person. I meant that from my heart. You left a hole at the middle school, but I'm sure it will be filled. Yes, there's a wonderful team here and the work continues, but you're deserving of this opportunity. And I'm sure Dr. Whiting will understand. Right. Ms. Parchment, thank you for your report. It's a sobering report. We accept it. And we have to work together as a team. A chain is as strong as its weakest link. It takes a village to raise a child. And it takes all of us collectively to lift our scores and to do good for our kids. And I'm sure we'll do well. We're coming out of a challenging times, you know, unprecedented times. But I'm sure we'll get there. We'll get to the mountaintop. And thank you for your comments regarding the equity team. And thank Mr. Tony Jackson for calling in and, you know, elaborating on your comments regarding the equity team. Tunde, good luck with your new job. I do appreciate you. I will miss you. You weren't here long enough, but I got to know you a little bit, and I appreciated whatever interaction we had, and I'm sure you'll do well wherever you are going. And on that note, we welcome our new HR person to Hackensack, and we look forward to having her here, and I wish her all the success. Mr. Gaines, where are you? Congrats. And you're deserving of it. You do work hard with our kids, and we do appreciate you. I listen to the kids, and they say you're a wonderful teacher. And with my interactions with you, I'm sure you are. You're very passionate in what you do, and you do bring a lot to the table, and we're grateful to have you as a teacher in our district. You're welcome. I just want to thank Ash. I need a haircut too, Ms. Somerville. So on that note, thank you for your wonderful comprehensive student report. I have no hair. And thank you for your comments regarding Jalen Hall from being recognized by the NAACP. Thank you for students for being recognized and participating in robotics, the MLK comments. Thank our band. You know, we have a great band, and our students for their, you know, honoring. Okay, and I just want to also thank Mr. Ziza for calling in regarding your comments. Thank you. And I listened to your comments, and you're very passionate about speaking about it, especially about your child. And I understand that, and I empathize. And I hope with you communicating with the proper channels, which is our superintendent, I'm sure we can get things resolved. But thank you. We have work to do regarding our scores in our districts, and I'm sure we will pull through at this moment. Also, thank Scotty Burke for your comments. Your comments are always, I always listen carefully when you speak, and I just thank you for, you know, coming here and just letting us know what is required and what can be done. Just want to say thank you for coming, and thank you for putting your thoughts together. It's very appreciated. And I just want to thank all our custodians for keeping our grounds, the buildings, like Mr. Moran said, his school is spotless. I've been to that school, it's spotless, and I've been to several schools, and they're all spotless. They do a wonderful job, so we don't want to forget them. Thank you for the tech team, a big shout out for keeping it going for us. We can't forget you. And, you know, just collectively, let's just thank everyone and thank the board. It's not easy. We all have our own lives, and we're here diligently and trying to do the best we can. And like I said, it's not easy. And sometimes easy to critique someone, but sometimes they say, who feels it knows it. And sometimes we think we can step in and do a better job. But like Mr. Jackson say, come by and be around one day and volunteer or get involved or sit around, and we can really see what it is like. You know, you got to be in it to win it. You got to be there to see. I'm in the medical field, but I was a teacher for many years. I did elementary, high school. I did preparatory education, and it wasn't easy. I'm not gonna lie. And I taught little kids. I taught adults, and I'll leave that alone. But it wasn't easy. And so I do understand what you go through, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Happy New Year again to everyone, and just get home safe, and just remember COVID is still around. It's okay. And one last thing, someone mentioned the superintendent coming around, and I think what they're referring to maybe was just like a wellness chat, if I'm saying it right, or a wellness visit, and just to make you feel like, you know, you're important. And you are important, and everyone in the district is important, okay? And it's just not easy. So let's roll up our sleeves together, collectively, and let's get it done for the District of Hackensack and for our kids, and they're well deserving of it. And I'm sure with these brilliant minds we have out there, it will get done. And last but not least, our wonderful BA, Ms. Singh, thank you for putting up with all of us. It's not easy the work you do, I cannot forget our board attorney. Thank you for keeping us on our toes and for just keeping us up with our policies and everything. Once again, thank you. And on that note, get home safe, everyone. Pray and just take care of your families. It's a difficult time we're in. Mental health, I always go back to this, is a challenge. And it's a lot going on there after post-COVID. And just stick together, love each other. Family is important, and we'll all get through this. Good night.
All right, Mr. Coleman.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to everybody. I look forward to a productive year. We have a lot of work to do. Let's roll up our sleeves and make some improvements in our district. But I would like to, like everyone else, congratulations, Mr. Gaines, on your award. Congratulations to Ms. Moncloa. Welcome to Ms. Budhu Howe. Thank you again, Ms. Story. Tunde, best of luck to you. I know, based on our experiences doing the union negotiations and even the comments from tonight, that you had a very tough job and it made you not so popular. Thank you. Thank you. I was trying to think of the best way to put that. But best of luck to you. You did a tremendous job, and we'll truly miss you. Ms. Burke, your comments about the Amistad curriculum, I hope that there's going to be whatever necessary additions to the curriculum that are necessary are going to be made. I do know that today I picked up my middle schooler and took her and one of her friends home from school, and I'm always happy to take one of her friends home from school with me because, I ask my kids how school is fine. What happened in school? Nothing. So, their little friends usually are a little more chatty. And the little friend said, we learned about Jim Crow today. and I'm the kind of a nerd dad that's willing to talk a lot about whatever I know about it. But I put a kind of personal bent on it, and I said, my father went to segregated schools in our nation's capital, and he would point out the spot next to the reflecting pool during Martin Luther King speech, I Have a Dream. He has a drawing in our family room of a man crying, and he described it as a man watching his home being burned down on the U Street corridor in Washington, D.C., which remained burned out until I was in high school. And it's living history, and it's not ancient history. And I'm appreciative of the curriculum that is in place, and that they are actually learning a lot about what's going on in this country in our past. Because if you don't know your past, you are not prepared for your future, that's for sure. So I am thankful that my kids go to Hackensack Middle School. Well, I have one there, one coming next year. I'm happy with what's going on in our schools. I am. And I look forward to all the improvements that are coming. And I am here to do whatever is necessary to assist you all in making this district as great as it can be. Thank you.
Mr. Coleman, Mr. Oaks?
I have no comment on it.
Thank you. So, I too will congratulate the list of folks that Ash talked about, from Jaden to the students that were selected for the All-Bergen County Band, the robotics team, the kids for the High School Art Center, for Bergen County Art Center. Thank you to the Drop-In Center for organizing the MLK Service Day. I know that our district, well, let me say, now I'll congratulate you, Ms. Monclova. And I've always known that you're amazing at what you do. I've had you from ECDC and from kids at the middle school. I know your commitment level and the passion that you have for education, and I know that you will do an excellent job at this. And just by the people that spoke about you and the respect that I have for them, that says volumes about you. So I will tell you, when it comes to this district, I believe in this district. I have children, y'all, I have 1,000 children, but I have kids. I have a child that is off to college, and she was well prepared. She is now what is she? A sophomore? Almost, well, because she left prepared, and with college credits, she's one of those kids that is a mid-year, almost a junior, right? She was almost published her freshman year. Who does that? I'm somewhere in my 40s, and I've never been published. She has excelled. She's living her best life. She just got back from London. She's living her best life and excelling at everything she does in college. And then I have a 3-year-old who's at the ECDC, who experiences the opposite end of education, meaning we had the high school, now we're at the 3-year-old, and that child is absolutely loved. He comes home happy. He is getting every bit of what he needs at his stage of development. I do not worry about him, and trust me, he has lots of issues, from hydrocephalus to autism, to he was born blind, he had a surgery to work with that, and cerebral palsy. But let me tell you, He is one of the most joyous babies you will ever meet. And when he goes to school, I don't worry about him because I know this district loves him. And I've got kids at every level in between. And they all come back and tell me what they learned. And they are all learning things that are not only academically appropriate, they are learning things that that teach them about life and about being culturally sensitive and culturally inclusive, and all the lessons that they need that are going to be able to send them to college and a vocational school or straight to work or whatever it is that whatever their next step is in life. Because they are being prepared by this district. I believe in this district. Now, Ms. Parchment, you did a fantastic job. And I know that it sometimes is not the best to be the bearer of all the news that sometimes you have to deliver, but the message that I got from you tonight was hope. I could feel it and hear it in your voice. And where we are is not where we're going to stay, right? We're not going to stay there because we are going to work towards a plan. That's what this board was elected to do. We're going to work towards a plan. Where we are, say it with me, where we are is not where we're going to stay. Okay, because comets do what? They soar, right? We soar, and that's where we're going. We're going up from here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with us. We're going to work hard for you, I promise. We're here if you need us. We all have email addresses. Reach out. May I have a motion? I move. Let me at least get it out. A motion to adjourn from Mr. Coleman, Mr. Carroll, second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, good night. Thank you. I can't even get it out. May I have a,